Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Brand New Division video. Today I want to go over two named items I would recommend using on your build 100%. It doesn't really matter if it's a AR build, a SMG, LMG build, a rifle build, whatever, and even if it's a PvP build or PvE, these items are really good to use, at least right now in the state of this game. As you guys know, it's all about damage, it's all about red builds, and in the future with this game, things can change and most likely will change. There's going to be different maybe type of builds going around, but right now with everything going into damage and 99% of the people playing the game are using damage builds, this is something once again I would highly recommend you focus on and actually get and use on your build. Like I said, unless things change in the future with more builds becoming viable like tank builds or utility builds or just whatever type of hybrid builds, this is for now probably your best option to use on your build. So the first item I do want to talk about is the Overlord Armaments kneepads, but they are actually the named version and they're called the Fox's Prayer. Now some of you guys might already know about these kneepads, some of you might already be using these kneepads, but if you don't, if you're not familiar with them, these are probably the best item right now in the game to use, like best in slot item for your build, because what it actually gives you is 15% damage to targets out of cover. Now obviously if you're playing PvP, if you're playing PvE, the majority of the targets you'll be shooting are out of cover, so that is a really nice increase to pretty much your damage output of 15%, and they are a little bit difficult to get. There's really no specific way to farm or like specific thing you have to do like in order to get them. It is an RNG drop, and I am pretty sure, like I'm 99% sure you can also get them in PvP. If you can't, let me know in the comments. I'll pin your comment or whatever, but pretty much the way you get them is just by RNG drops. Now for these kneepads, I would recommend focusing on targeted loot. So as you guys know, every 24 hours, the targeted loot map pretty much resets for New York and Washington, DC. So what you want to focus on is either areas that have a better chance of getting, of dropping Overlord Armaments gear pieces, or if it's a mission or just a specific area that has a better chance of dropping kneepads. Those two things I would highly recommend focusing on because, again, if you're just playing the game, if you just think your RNG will drop these kneepads from a random mission or doing a control point, yes, it can happen, but overall, you have a better chance of farming target loot and actually focusing on the specific either brand set category or the kneepads drop in the mission. So again, for damage, these things are pretty much the best because, again, 15% of damage targets out of cover is a lot. Even if you have something like maxed out crit chance or maxed out critical hit damage, or even headshot damage, you're still better off. You're getting more damage with the 15% damage to targets out of cover. So that's what makes them really good. And, obviously, if you do get them, they will come with 15% damage. They will be maxed out. So the one thing that's pretty unfortunate about this gear piece is since it is a Overlord armament, it is giving you rifle damage, accuracy, and weapon handling. So if you're not really using a rifle, you're not getting the benefit of the rifle damage, and you're obviously missing out on some other brand sets you could be using for critical hit chance or critical hit damage. But if you are using a rifle, you're getting a pretty much a double positive, I guess you could say, because you're getting the 15% damage to targets out of cover and the rifle damage. But even if you're not using a rifle, even if you're using a AR, as I said in the beginning, or SMGs, LMGs, this is still the best in slot option for a pair of kneepads. Now the next thing I do want to talk about is actually some gloves. These are called the Deconstructor's gloves, and they are named Petrov Defense gloves. What makes these really good is you're actually getting 11% damage to armor. So as you guys know, in Warlords of New York, they actually removed damage to elites. So now getting through the armor sometimes can be difficult. Like that's probably like the hardest part about killing NPCs. Like obviously is destroying the armor. Once the armor is gone, you can kill them pretty easily. So to get 11% kind of increase of damage to armor is very good, and again, even if you're not using a complete damage build, this is something that will help you out with destroying the armor. Again, for these, I would recommend farming either areas of target loot that focus on Petrov defense, like areas with control points or missions, or specific missions or specific kind of activities that will have a better chance of dropping you gloves in the game. Again, it's just pretty much about your RNG. You can do a control point on normal and get your first try from a, crate at the end from the supply room, or it's going to take you a week or two of farming and actually getting this item. But overall, if you're making a damage build, or if you are just looking for the best in-slot items, these two named items, I would 100% recommend getting in the game. One thing I do want to say really quickly is these gloves were actually being sold from a clan vendor about 2 weeks ago when the Warlords of New York update came out, so if you did reach level 40 really quickly, you were able to purchase them, and you were pretty much blessed with the best in-slot gloves in the game. So hopefully in the future, maybe this week, maybe next week, whatever, these gloves or these knee pads are available from vendors. I guess we'll have to kind of wait and see, but yeah, these two items, 100% would recommend using them, even if you're not using a full damage build, if you're using a hybrid build, or whatever you're doing, these items are very, very good to have in your build. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you guys have any questions about the game or just in general about these two pieces, let me know in the comment section below. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. But thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.